right.
Come on, puppy. Why don't you come on up here?
All right.
We're doing this today with we are live, right, Robbie?
We are live
today without theme music. We're turning on lights. We're getting things together here. Robbie's working her camera. I'm working my dog. Our other team member, Geraldine, is recovering at home. She sends her love, you guys. Hope you all are doing well. Let's get Spider started here before it gets even more chaotic. Watch this. Here. Yeah, this is pure gold. Okay, come on up here, buddy. Up here.
Pure delicious gold.
He's going to take another spin on the chair. Go around again, buddy. You know, today we're gonna share with you Spider's story.
It's such a good story.
With what's that, Robbie?
It's such a good story.
Yeah. We actually, before we get started, we've got to tell folks about a couple of great things that are going on. Oh God. I just spilled water on my desk.
Oh, no.
This is what happens when you hurry. It's a bad idea to be me and hurry at the same time. I can either hurry or I could be me, but I can't be me and hurry and do a live show. Okay. So let's tell folks about the big contests we've got going on all week long. Let's see, are we live with that, Robbie?
I just made the page live. It's still bare bones.
Okay.
I too was trying to multitask and talk to you, get my room set up.
It's a chaotic Monday.
I was going to say, is it full moon? What's going on?
All of the above. Yeah. All right. So all this week, go ahead, Robbie.
I just put a link on our Facebook page to the giveaway page.
All right. Folks,
there we go.
Actually, pretty recently, we had the author of this wonderful new book, R.L. Mays's Other People's Pets. Well, her publisher is letting us give away 2 copies of the book to you guys. So we're so excited. And Robbie just published the contest. It's live on the Positively Well Facebook page. And we're going to select the winner. R.L. Mays is going to be with us on Friday. And she's going to select the winner live right here from your guys' entry. We're so excited.
And
go ahead.
And we are running a contest on Friday. And we're going to draw a random, actually Spider is going to draw the random winner, and we're going to ask people, what is the name of Larry's dog? So people that watch on Friday that can correctly answer that, your dog, whose name is Spider, is going to draw the winner.
That is wonderful.
Live on air.
Yeah. So we'll remind you of the contest all week. Please enter the contest. And we're just so excited that we get to give away 2 copies.
Yep.
Now, okay, so that's going on. And don't forget about our Supermodel of the Week contest. Enter that all week. Well, it's Monday, Robbie. It could not be more chaotic. Actually, we're going to settle down with some really nice story time.
Can I go back to Supermodel, though?
Please.
We want more people to send in their dogs. My daughter goes through and she shares all the photos, but, we're seeing a lot of the same dogs, and we love seeing those same dogs because it's so nice to have those familiar faces a lot of the times. But we know we have so many people who are watching and listening, and we want to see your dogs. We love, the adorable faces, the cute poses that they're in, and we always love the unique names. So share your dog on our Facebook page.
Easy to do. All you have to do is post your dog's photo and comment other people's dogs. And it's just for fun, and what could be a bigger prize than the fame of being on the Dog Hugs show, your dog's photo on the Dog Hugs show, and
the adoration of all the people all week long who get to see your adorable dog.
Doesn't get better than that. Yeah, hashtag Emmys, huh?
There you go.
Speaking of hashtags, I want to share with you this wonderful new hashtag called My Unspoken Pet. Imagine, what if your pet could tell his or her story before your pet came to live with you? Imagine what that story might be.
I think about what poor Hazel's story would have been.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, this was started by the good folks at Cuddly. And if you're not familiar with Cuddly, no worries. They're very new on the scene. They've actually been around a few years, but they are just beginning this big splash. They have GoFundMe type of campaigns to raise funds for shelters and rescue organizations and fostering programs.
Oh, wow.
Well, Cuddly, through some friends of Robbie and Geraldine and me, called All Pet Voices, Claude DeVita and Jessica Shipman, they started up this campaign called My Unspoken Pet with Cuddly to tell these stories. And they asked 10 or 11 bloggers from across the country to share the stories, the unspoken stories of their pets. So they asked me on behalf of Robbie and Geraldine and me to tell Spider's story. All right. Well, first of all, I'm going to tell the true story, or at least my version of the true story. And then we're going to have a special guest tell Spider's story. All right. So first, this is the story that I tell when I go out and do public speaking. And not doing a lot of that this year with the lockdown, but I do love telling Spider's story. So as you may know, if you've watched the show, I make films with shelter dogs. I teach them tricks and make films with them to help them get adopted, because I believe that inside of every dog is this undiscovered movie star. And so to find those diamonds in the rough, my crew and I make videos with shelter dogs, which helps them get the best kind of stardom, a loving home. So we were making this 4th of July film over at Pet Orphans. And on that day, the shelter brought out 12 dogs, and we began our process of training them and making the film. Well, among these dogs was one really rough dog. I mean, you could barely touch them. And of course, the shelter gave this dog the perfect name, Spider. He had a history. He'd been adopted before twice, given up on twice, and it might have been 3 strikes and you're out. But fortunately, Pet Orphans pulled Spider off of death row. Well, this happens, of course, to a lot of dogs and cats around the country every year. So I wondered, what would it be like not just to save their lives, but to train them like movie dogs? I love to take a problem and flip it around, from it being the worst thing in the world to it making maybe inside of every dog is this undiscovered movie star, a future therapy dog who will comfort those in need, a search and rescue dog, and of course, the best kind of stardom, a loved pet in a forever home.
I love that.
Well, so in this 4th of July film, all the other dogs learned to sit and pose and even do a few tricks. And naturally, they got adopted right away, because the single biggest reason that shelter dogs do or don't get adopted is training or lack of training. And Spider was so rough, the only thing he could do was sit for 5 whole seconds, and he didn't get adopted. Well, a month later, I came back to the shelter. All the other dogs had been adopted. And I began to take Spider on walks. And little by little, he began to open up. Instead of avoiding eye contact, he looked at me. So I taught him some hand signals. He smiled, and I decided I was up for a big challenge. I brought Spider home forever. And he now knows more than 50 dog tricks, and you've seen many of them on this show. Well, that's a little bit about Spider's story. Now, we're going to share with you, what if Spider told his story before we met? Well, I thought, well, since Spider is an Australian cattle dog, that we would need to tell it in Australian voice. So I went to my good friends, Beau Pearson and Sim, of the Flipping Disc Dogs in Melbourne, Australia, and had Beau read the story. So here, Beau looking at the story for the first time of the Flipping Disc Dogs. Now, we're going to have Beau and Sim on the show later this week showing some of their newest tricks. And they are some of the most amazing performers in the world. Anyhow, we'll tell you more about Beau and Sim. But here's Beau Pearson reading a story. If Spider were to tell the story of him before we met. Now, I am going to give you a real treat. This is me editing behind the scenes. Let's see if I can flip this around so you can take a look at this. Here we go. And let's see how well I can do this. All right, we're just going to get started right in here. This is what it looks like when I'm editing for this show, editing video for this show.
"'Tis true blue beauty that my 4 sisters and brothers named me the Runt. Fighting the bigger ones made me tougher and quicker. We were born on a ranch in a place called California, far away from Australia. My bigger mates learned to herd sheep and cows, but the Runt never got a fair go. Except once when I leapt out of the puppy pen. That's when I learned I could jump higher than any of them. And then, yeah, I rounded those sheep up, barked fiercely, circled round, nipped their heels. Yeah, I was aces annoying. But nipping at those big sheep was aces fun. Until I got kicked in the head. Crikey, that rang a bell. Left a fair dent in my head. It's not so noticeable now that I'm all grown up, especially since my black eye patch diverts the attention. Dogs notice the dent though, and sometimes it scares them off when I angle at them like a drongo dingo. Getting kicked in the throat. Sorry. Getting kicked in the throat made my bark rougher. I'm never going to howl like my pretty dingo ancestors. But that's okay. It's made my bark sharper, my growl fierce, so no one's going to mess with me. No one. Not even that mongrel who thinks he's the biggest and baddest. I scared them all off. Maybe that's why it took me so long to get a real home. Yeah, I bounced around for a couple of years. The first one brought me home, didn't last. They weren't ready for me. No sheep to herd, so I rounded up their kids. It should have thrilled them, because those little ankle biters needed their own ankles nipped. And that dog run, where they kept me outside, struth. What a small, stuck life. Getting a quick g'day when they restocked my bowl, my only break from no hope was barking at everyone and anything that moved. After too many moon cycles, watching my dingo moon god Ginger grow and disappear, I wasn't a cute puppy. I tried howling, but the humans hated my kicked-in throat singing. They hated me. That's when I figured it was time to bounce. It took a few days to get good at it, but eventually I jumped and climbed over that fence. And I was small enough to squeeze through a hole. It's good being the runt. Freedom was fun. I went walkabout, followed my nose to an alley, jumped and climbed, squeezed through a crack in a dumpster lid. Yeah, mate, it's good being the runt. The whole dumpster was mine. Feast. Just had to scare some cats off. Was tempted to go after them, but I had such a bellyache. Fell asleep instead. Dream time. Dreams of my dingo ancestors, dreams of my sacred symbols, swirled dreams of herding a mob of sheep. Suddenly, the dumpster rumbles. I'm awake. I scrambled up and poked my head out. My dumpster loads up to the big truck. Looks like I'm going for a ride. I take in the breeze, scan the world below. Maybe this is what it's like being a bird. Like Yalunga, the eagle god of my dingo ancestors. Yalunga created his world. I'd like to create my world. A home, yes, with a full belly of tucker and a soft place to sleep. A home, what did those humans call it? Ah, yes, love. What would it be like to have love? A home. The big truck drove my dumpster to the garbage heaven. I reckon acres of ripe garbage. But I learned that not all garbage can be eaten. I must be a slow learner because I got sick every day. Even worse, when you're sick, you're weak, which means you're also prey to dogs that patrol the dump. If I were well, I could have fought them off, but it was easier to leg it and climb up to a safe hiding spot that gave me a good lookout. In the moons that followed, I silently begged God Ginger to help. I dare not bark because I had to stay hidden while I got well. So Ginger must have heard my cry. It was lonely, but I got used to my garbage dump lookout. I learned to take risks and eventually got discovered by those guard dogs. When they bought the humans, I ran away at first. The truth, I was ready to be captured. They loaded me into a crate on a truck, slammed the door, and drove off. The other dogs and crates in the truck smelled of fear. The fear was contagious. When I get scared, I'll fight. So by the time we arrived at the giant warehouse, I was in a mood to fight. The fight didn't go well. Those humans gave me a shot. I got woozy, fell asleep, and woke up on a shelf in a crate surrounded by barking in every direction. Not fun. But at least at night I could bark to Ginger, even though I couldn't see the moon. Even though the kind hands fed me, this was no life. I got angrier, barked more. It took many moons to figure out that barking wouldn't help get me out. The dogs who got out were friendly when the humans came in. I didn't really know how to be friendly. I got adopted a couple of times, but each time I messed something up. I didn't mean to, but figuring out all these new rules was stressful and confusing. I ripped up food bags, pooped on the rug, chased a cat, wound up in the warehouse again and again. The third time I got put on the list, they called it the euthanasia list. I had no idea what that meant, only that all the other dogs on that list didn't come back. When I got to the top of the euthanasia list, I got picked. Some folks put me in a van and I wound up at another warehouse. They called it a shelter, named Pet Orphans. Still couldn't see the moon. Humans took me on walks, sat with me, played with me in the yard. I didn't know how to play at first. They named me Spider. One day they brought me in front of a bunch of people who wanted me to sit still while they shined lights at me and stared at me through little machines they called a camera. I didn't like it when they touched me, especially when they put some kind of fandangle ribbon on me. They said it was cute, but I tolerated it. The people did the same lights and camera thing with a bunch of other dogs. The other dogs made the people happy because they smiled and waved and learned some tricks. I wasn't having any of that nonsense, especially when they touched me. But all the other dogs got adopted right away. They got homes. I didn't. That just made me angrier. I was depressed. A whole moon cycle later, that human with a Karen started walking me. We walked far, which I was stoked about. He let me climb and jump, said my name's Spider, nice things, and gave me snacks. I felt happy. We did that every day for a week. Then something unexpected happened. He brought me home. That was 5 years ago. He's now my dad, and you know what? We love each other. Yeah, love. And I'm a good boy when I'm not a rat bag.
Thank you so much, Beau Pearson, for reading that story. And thank you so much to Cuddly and All Pets Voices for giving me the opportunity to share that story. And folks, you're going to see a lot of stories if you go visit their hashtag, My Unspoken Pet. New stories are going to crop up every day. I'm so excited about this campaign. And do visit Cuddly if you want to see some of the great programs that they have going on to help pets get adopted, helping out shelters and foster program rescue organizations across the country. It's a wonderful, wonderful new organization. All right. Well, thank you for enjoying that.
A rat bag? That's a new one.
Well, I had to put some slang in there. So I wrote it up my way in America, and then Beau helped me tweak a little bit.
Oh,
And
okay.
rat was a word he put in. Apparently, that's common.
Well, you got to get the Australian roots in there, of course.
Yeah, because all I know is good day and put the shrimp on the Barbie.
I know the shrimp on the Barbie. That's about it.
So that was a real treat.
That was so good.
And then we've also got that story up on the website. At some point, we'll get it up to you, but it's been written up and it's on the website. And
I'm getting it here.
Carolyn is chiming in. She just had some dentistry today, and Geraldine, so glad that we could make you laugh. Oh, look at this. All Pet Voices is here. We love you, Larry. I feel the love, my friends. Thank you very much. These are the folks who introduced me to Cuddly and Cuddly to me and to our whole team. And that's our good friend, Claude DeVita and Jessica Shipman. And you've perhaps seen Chloe on the show before, and we'll definitely have them on the show again. Great. Where are we? Oh, here we go. Thanks, Robbie. Robbie just posted the story. Spider's story is up, and you can see the whole thing, and you'll see some great photos up there as well. Thank you for doing that, Robbie.
I also shared the July 4th video that you were talking about.
Oh, that's
so a few seconds in, you can see Spider over on my left.
Yeah.
Sitting up on a pedestal.
Yeah, you'll see right at the beginning of that video.
Yep.
Yeah, that was really a treat. Yeah, it was the day we met. Yeah. Let's go right into our shelters shout outs here. It sounds like a good Cuddly and Pet Orphans Day.
I was going to say, it's got to be Pet Orphans. I mean, if it wasn't for them pulling Spider off of that euthanasia list, then we wouldn't have his story to share. So
that's right.
It's great for Pet Orphans. So that's my shelter shout out today, too.
Thank you very much. And yeah, I'll join you on that, Robbie, and also introduce folks again to Cuddly. Really just so excited about the work that they're doing. And they're my unspoken pet stories. Blessings, gratitude. Today, actually, mine goes to Chloe DeVita, who we saw as the my pet's voices. Let me see. I'll get her up here again. There we go. This is Chloe DeVita from My Pet Voices, and here she is over here. Now, Chloe has been transformational in my life. Robbie and I wouldn't have met without Chloe. Gerald and it would have been taken us years to have met without Chloe.
Was a connector.
Yeah, she is a real connector. And Chloe also introduced me to a great public speaking program called Heroic Public Speaking. And then now Chloe has formed All Pet Voices. I mean, it's just really just spectacular work. Thank you. Big hug. So thank you, Chloe DeVita. Any shout outs from you, Robbie?
I guess I am grateful for Cuddly. I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of just getting people to share their stories so that people can, connect with these dogs, that have been adopted, and maybe even think about, adopting or rescuing their own dog and having, their dog's story and having it have a happy ending, like Spiders did.
Well said.
That rat bag Spider.
He is such a calm little rat bag right now. You can barely see him down there.
Look at his tail just going.
Just right over there. As long as he's got his Kong, life is good. Also, we want to give a special shout out to our partner in crime, Geraldine. Geraldine, rest well and come back when you're ready. Thank you for joining us today on Dog Hugs. Oh, Geraldine is giving a big, this is a LOL times 5 to Robbie.
That's good. I don't know if that's good. I'm making her laugh until she cries. I don't know. We'll have to find out.
That's nice. Well, here's where we hum the theme song going out. Yeah.
I have to mute myself for this.
Yeah. That's great. Come on, Spider. You want to share? There we go. How about at least a big hug? Thank you. Yeah, you could drool on me. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow on Dog Hugs.